But we can't really go too much further in discussion because we actually already have gone live. The pistol round is already amongst us here, as Sponsorless will be starting out on the CT side, as this was Non's pick, so they got that selection. It's going to be Daps, Rush, Rick, Shazam, and Naf. Then for Nylum, we'll just call him Nylum. We know they're not sponsored by Nylum anymore, but just to keep it easy, we'll call him Nylum for now since that's what's in on the screen. And it is going to be Automatic, Roka, Simphis, Valens, and Sanks. And that's the other big question we had, as Nylum is going to start pushing into the B-Bomb site here, is what is this Nylum team going to be like? That leadership dichotomy of Valens and Simphis, how will that pan out? And right now we are seeing Nylum trying to put some effort here, like I said, on the B side. Sanks has gotten the entry, and they will need to get this bomb planted here. Simphis lurking around in the mid garage, trying to catch these vent rotations, and he will be able to. Gets both of them. And so it's all up to Shazam now. 1 versus 4. Finds one headshot there on the Sanks, but now in a 1 versus 3. Not looking good for him here, as he is already taken down to 50. And there's a good crossfire here, and he will go down. So this Nylum looked like a very dominant pistol round to me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if Sponsorless was ready for the pop flash through the smoke and then just the straight up B rush that was ensuing. I think they had assumed that the smoke would force them to play checkers maybe a little more slowly, or just stop or halt a rush that was incoming, but that didn't slow down Nylum at all. So yeah, I think those are kind of going to be the plays that we are going to be seeing a lot of moving forward, just surprise plays, trying to catch the other team off guard, and so far Nylum using it well to their advantage.
Yeah, and they went ahead on Sponsorless here, and they bought up those upgraded pistols and armor. Expect to see this on second rounds when you lose first. Just trying to give yourself a chance. They're getting very aggressive at mid. But they even put Rush up on the counter boost here. He has not been spotted. And Shazam was able to get a tag on Simphis with the scout, but he also took a lot of damage as well. And Nylum setting up for looks like a pretty heavy A hit. They're using those Molotovs to clear out quad box and fence. Now they know no one's there. They just got to worry about the site and highway. Oh yeah, the bomb has been taken down. You're absolutely correct. That was a good counter boost from Rush. Now he's flanking Squeaky Door, not A main, so this might catch people off guard even more.
Yeah, Dash also going to be catching. Oh, I thought he was going to be catching Valens off guard there. He's still able to frag his way through it, but either way, Sponsorless still coming out on top on the exchange with 50 seconds left on the clock. Valens picking up the bomb and trying to make something happen here.
Yeah, I mean, he's just all by himself here. 1 versus 2. He's got the tech now. He's got head armor, and he has brought the bomb over here into B. Shazam. Yeah, he does, but with low HP, he tries to peek out with the scout, tries to get a quick kill, doesn't get it. Now he'll just wait it out. He realizes he can't stop the bomb from being planted, so now he's just time to wait for Naf and work together to try to get this retake. But with Shazam being so low on HP, it's an easy target for Valens, and he will get the kill. Yeah, definitely, you're right. He's down to 6 HP. Naf has a better chance at it now because of that. As he will try to attack into the site, he will find the frag, and he has plenty of time for the defuse despite no kit. And that's going to be a 1-1 score.
Definitely a huge, a force buy from Sponsorless on the round, and a pickup really off the back of that boost over mid and dropping down and surprising that bomb that really disrupted Nylum's rhythm on what was going to be the potential A take and allowed those A players to frag out when all of the chaos ensued. So really good work from them catching players off guard. And you know, as I said, that was what Nylum used on their pistol round, just catching Sponsorless off guard, and Sponsorless just threw it right back in their face. Similar idea, just trying to surprise them. Happened to be really well timed. A little bit of bad luck for Nylum, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, or the right combination of lucky and good.
Yeah, like you said, it was just well timed. Like you can see, Nylum was so cautious about running into an A stack. That's why they were using their mollies to try to clear stuff out, and then they get hit by a counter boost. So just unfortunate, but you can see them definitely going for what looks like a really fast A hit. 4 people already inside the lobby. Automatic Squeaky Door. Smokes come out, and they will start crossing into the site. But Shazam through the smoke with the FAMAS, able to find one. Rush chiming in as well, and they're shutting this down very, very easily here. And it's all over. Only Automatic able to find a frag in that mix. And so Sponsorless goes up 2-1. The force buy from Nylum does not work. They'll have to take a save here to buy up next round.
Yeah, very clearly the cleanest round of the game so far. Sponsorless just, unfazed by the rush, not being caught off guard, sticking with their solid position. They weren't pushed too close up on the A main, so they weren't in really bad positions to get jumped on by that forced buy, and they just hung back, waited for the players to come out of the smoke, and it was really just one of those blender rounds. So good on them. Sam not going to be buying up anything past the Tech 9 on this round. Looks like he's going to be saving for that op, and knowing that Nylum is going to have pistols in their hands, it seems like that could be a good decision, assuming Sponsorless can hold off this B take, which seems like they're starting to do well.
Yeah, Dom does get one pick here with Sanks. Roku stepping in, though, not checking all of his corners, and so that means that Shazam will be able to combine with the crossfire here to deliver some easy frags, and, I mean, that one's just kind of a toss-away round from Nalam. They, you know, bought some light pistols, like some 250s and such, but no heavy investment armor and nades, and they're still pretty low on money, but they're going to buy what they can. This means that Valence will be limited to just the Galil, but we do have AKs across the board for everyone else, and as you said, Shazam going to go ahead and get that op, as he did take pretty conservative approach last round on just a Tech 9, so that op is going to be out. Dad's also holding on to a Galil, not upgrading, just trying to save up some money as well for a rainy day. And as you can see, 3 people at the 5K range or so. Yeah, they did. Oh man, does this
He's
work
also going to
again?
spot out the bomb if he peeks. The bomb is just down in a neutral. He looks at it and he's going to. Oh, he should have gotten that frag on automatic, but automatic very wary of it. I'm surprised that they were as aware of the boost, or maybe it was just a little luck where you happen to be running back in that direction. You rarely see that play, you know, being broken out so many times in a row, just because a lot of players are like, ah, no way they'll do it again. And also with rifles in their hands, it's a pretty aggressive play.
Yeah, and you can see like Rush playing a similar position to what I've seen him in the past in the CT side of Elevate, playing that highway position. They got Shazam opping and anchoring the A-bomb side here, and Rush will get flashed in by his teammate. He will find the frag. Roka tries to catch him from door, and he cannot do it. That's like Roka's classic position as well from his Elevate days. Yeah, exactly. Rush, you know, very, very aware that Roka's going to be doing that. I mean, they were teammates together in the same team. He knows exactly how Roka plays that squeaky door. And you kind of wonder, how are some of these little former teammate relationships going to kick in as far as kind of getting reads on your opponent, especially player tendencies?
Yeah, I would say so far it's already playing a part in it, so it'll be interesting to see how that progresses through the game. But Shazam just going to town with this op. It's a DM for him right now, picking up 2 quick frags and putting Semphis in a really tough position with the bomb down in the middle of the site. And the CTs are just rotating in.
Yeah, Civis will step out here. He does find the headshot onto Rush. 1v4 now becomes a 1 versus 3, but no time at this point. There's nothing he can really do here except for trying to get guns down and force some rebounds. He gets the kills. Oh my goodness, if Shazam wasn't careful there, Civis may have been able to win it on like a nail-biting fashion, but Shazam stays hidden behind the smoke, allows the clock to run out, and he eventually even finds the frag at the end. But that got scary there for a second. He thought Civis had no chance. All of a sudden he's in a 1v1 with a couple of seconds left, and that must have gotten a little stressful.
Yeah, the only problem was he did get killed after time, so he was unable to save the AK and only walks away with $1,000. I'm curious if he had went out there. I mean, yes, he's obviously going to go out there and try to frag, but I wonder if he kind of had dying in mind to make sure he didn't get, you know, pinched with no time left on the clock. And I'm not sure if he was ready to hit those 2 frags. His economy took a hit for it, but luckily the rest of his teammates not so rich as well, so he should still be able to line up with them.
Right, as we do see once again a save, as you said, coming out of Nalam here, once again gathering up for AB Rush. Yeah, but Dabs has actually been able to get himself inside the checkers, already finds a frag here onto Roku, automatic lurking, catching the rotation at mid, is able to get one, but Dabs just continues to clean house over here at the checkers, and it leaves automatic all alone in a 1v2, but he has picked up an M4, but not going to be able to do much with it. Shazam takes him out, and Sponsorless up now 5-1, so very, very dominant half so far. They've won the last 5 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and that was actually a surprisingly winnable 1v2 that that last remaining terrorist was put in. Unfortunately, Shazam with that Tech 9 hitting him just repeatedly and aim punching him up in the air. I wasn't even looking at it from his perspective, but you could just see his model twitching up and down and up and down, and that's unfortunate. When you finally get your hands on that rifle on an eco round and you're getting ready to frag and you're just getting aim punched left and right, but yeah, that's just the game right now, and missiles are strong. We're going to be seeing Sponsorless going for a push right here. Roka being caught off guard, trades 1-for-1. As Rix is able to fall back with 10 HP.
Yeah, it's once again this Rush kind of reading into what Roka likes doing the squeaky hall. Like I said, former teammates there, understands Roka's tendency to play that position, able to get the pick, but like you said, Automatic was there to back Roka up. And so, like you said, even trade, that is going to favor Nam. Just a slight bit here. They've actually pulled A off. Like Shazam just watching it from Highway with the op. Rick's playing really passive here at Truck with Dab. So, I mean, they have 3 people in the area, but the site is still kind of giving up. They've been able to get Shazam into the site, however, they're using some nades. Now Shazam can anchor that A-bomb site with the op, and Dabs and Ricks are a little bit more free to move around. In the meantime, not quite sure what they want to do here. Simpus is still looking for picks with his ops, looking for aggression, but Automatic is positioning himself at this door again, so they still may try to go for the A-split.
Definitely, and Sanks boosted up in mid, trying to find something, but Sponsorless playing passively, just not allowing them to find any frags here. They're going to force them to try to execute on a site, and it looks like that's what we're ready to see. Shazam, oh man, picking up 1 to start, and the lineup frag, make that 2 more for him, a 3K on the round. Sank's last man standing, and Shazam just decapitates him with the op. Really good play from him right there, hitting all of the clutch shots when he needed to and stepping up big time for his team. We're 7 completed rounds in the game, and he's already had 14 frags. Just a huge impact fragger for his team so far.
Obviously, and he's just showing that the power the op can have on this map. If you have a solid op anchoring that A-bomb site, you can dictate the pace of the game so much better because you can put more presence on mid, you can rotate players more freely, and he just locks that thing down. He's been doing that all game long. I just hit a 14 frags, so doing quite well. A quad kill that round. And Nylon just looked a bit lost here. Like, I'm so used to seeing Sanks and Automatic. Those were the 2 entry fraggers for the old Nylon, you know, back before Simpus joined the team. But you're seeing Sanks kind of a little bit more passive, a little bit more in the lurker role, while you see kind of Roka playing that secondary entry to Automatic and Simpus even being a part of the mix. So I still wonder if they've got their roles really set up or if they really kind of know how to get the most out of their players. Obviously, you know, new team, only been together for a little while, but I think these are some growing pains you're kind of seeing out of them tonight.
Yeah, I think what a lot of it has to do is the entry fraggers are in really precarious positions where they're trying to be traded off of, and a lot of that comes down to being able to... Ooh, nice shot by Roka getting that opening frag. A lot of it has to do with being able to trust your teammates and trust them being able to back you up. So I think that timid play might come from them, you know, being a new roster, not exactly trusting that his teammates are going to back him up properly, so he doesn't want to overextend.
Oh, my goodness.
Ironically enough, being punished for not extending and playing as aggressively as he needs to. But trades going back and forth, and Sponsor was taking a 1-man advantage as Shazam gets ripped by Sempus.
Yeah, that was a really nice frag there. Shazam was once again doing really well to hold that A site, but now it's a 2 versus 2. Bomb has been planted by Sempus inside the site. Rush will be at the highway. Naf over at truck, both with rifles here, so it's pretty even at this point. Nobody has nades for either team left now.
Oh,
Naf is actually going to get the incendiary frag on the Sanks, flushes him out the right direction. Sempus now in a 1 versus 2, and he's going to win it for a hat trick on the round, including the 1v2. Very well done, and finally, I mean, that was the first round Nylon won since the pistol. They immediately got ecoed and were having some real struggle, and now they finally close one out to show some life.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, their economy is really not in great shape, despite all of that. 2 of their players being held to pistols on the round. The saving grace really monetarily would be Sempus holding on to that op and going to be breaking that out for his team. He's going to need to make a big use of it to make up for Automatic and Valens' lack of firepower on the round. I mean, if they lose this round, their economy is really not going to be in good shape, and Sponsorless is just going to be taking complete control.
Yeah, that money reset can be so devastating, especially in a situation like this. It just becomes like a domino effect. You know, you lose the second round, which already happened. That already gets you, you know, spiraling out of control. And then you finally win a round. But if you can't capitalize on that string coupled together, you're right back in the dumps, as you said. And then that can just be a very one-sided half, just off the economy alone. Not necessarily even your play, but just those 2 key rounds that you lost can make all the world of difference. We'll see if Alum can try to fight past that here. Snap gets aggressive inside the sunroom, going to peek out here, but gets caught by the Tech 9 of Valens. And so that is an entry here for Non. They do get an early man advantage, but 2 of their players are pretty tagged up, and they're pretty spread out. So I'm not really sure what they're looking for. Rix has a lot of information having pushed A lobby, and Shazam covering B still with this op and anchoring there. So he even gets it back into a 4-on-4.
Yeah, not allowing Nylon to properly recover that M4 as well is going to be a huge advantage. Rix super blind from Roka, but Roka not going to be pushing off of that. Roka and Sanks in that squeaky room while the other 2 teammates are going to be coming out of main. They're smartly falling back to site and going to be fighting this with his teammate. I'm not sure if they know exactly where he is, but now he's just going for it, taking out 2 before getting dropped.
Whoa.
Yep, Shazam to make this happen. Sanks lighting him up with the AK. Seems like they have a huge advantage going into this one.
Yeah, Sanks got some sick entries there on the site, and Simpus will finish it off. I mean, that was really just all Sanks all day, coming out the squeaky door and just finding 3 frags on the site, clearing everything there. So that was just a great individual effort there by him to pick up a 2nd round in a row for Non, which is great because now they've actually broken Sponsorless's bank. They forced them onto a save finally, and they're starting to establish their money. The problem is they still did have to do a lot of rebuying, so there's still some guys that are quite low there in danger, especially Valens and Roka at just $100. So they're still a loss away from having kind of a broken buy. But look at this aggression from Sponsorless at that mid easily taken care of here by Nam, who also went for the mid control. And when those two forces clashed, it was Nylam that come out ahead by a lot.
Definitely. And this is the really clean round win that they need to just, as you said, continue to solidify the economic control of this game that they had just taken. So Shazam, last man standing with the P250 in hand, is gonna have to do work to win this round. Probably not gonna happen, but at the very least, you might be able to find some exits here and disrupt Nylam in some way, as the bomb is now making its way into the A bomb site and going to be planted.
Yeah, there's nothing that Shazam can really do here. And like I said, for maybe hoping to grab an exit and collect a gun that he can save for next round. But outside of that, there's not much to hope for here. And it will be Nylam winning the last 3 rounds in a row and making it a 4-6 score. Still not in their favor, but they're starting to find their footing here. They're starting to establish themselves. Like I said, after taking a really tough break by losing the second round and kind of forcing them into some saves and some force buys, they've been able to, you know, get a gun round and string a couple together, and now they're back in the game.
Along with that, I was going to say that they've shown that they can win the super clutch round. Winning round 8 was big. It was a good way for them to disrupt the momentum that Sponsorless had, but the real kicker was that round 9. That was the one that they so desperately needed to win. They were on 2 pistols on the round. They had Naf that was pushed so aggressively that so easily could have punished them, and they were able to battle back and still come through on that round. And that is really, in my mind, the important one for them, and the important one to show that they are here to compete and can compete, as Rix is going to find Automatic pushed a little close to Squeaky.
Yeah, we had 3 guys on A for Sponsors there, just going for a little bit of aggression and like to throw that in as a little bit here and there, and it did work out for him. And now they're going to go back to kind of a 2-1-2. They've also moved Shazam over to B. He doesn't have the op. He's on a rifle, so they're going to put Naf, who usually plays B, over to the quad boxes. So just kind of shifting the personnel a little bit here. I guess just kind of adjusting to what equipment they have, you know, not having Shazam's op tank or the A-bomb site and emphasize things on mid. So just going for more rifle heavy inside the sites and just kind of giving up mid. That's just kind of spotting it passively. And because of that, now I'm able to move a couple of players out here. And they can run some type of mid-day split here quite easily now up highway. And they have a guy at door and A main, but Naf will find Valens. Roka able to stab Naf inside the back, however, so they're going to continue to work their way in. They've evened it back up to a 3-on-3. Civis with the op entry from Squeaky Door. Don't see that every day. He steps up, finds another one on the Shazam through the highway here, and he's causing a lot of havoc at this point. But now he's all alone. The rest of his team has fallen to the sponsorless retake here, and Rush will finish it off. So that looked kind of bright for Nam for a little while there, but things kind of fell apart. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, losing the man right off the bat in Automatic, who happens to be one of their stronger fraggers, was just not the right way they wanted to start their round. And when they were moving into the site and looking for trades, they were already playing with a man disadvantage, and it kind of just caught up to them. As you said, Semphis, you know, doing the work of an entry fragger with an op, which is not exactly how you want to structure that round and that site take. So, you know, despite the fact that they were able to bring it close, I really think losing Automatic early on and giving up that first pick was what did not allow them to catch the trades they needed.
Yeah, you saw Simmons kind of bringing it back, and he even got into a 3-on-3 at one point, but his 2 teammates fell, and he just couldn't get it alone there. But they still do have money to buy. They gathered up some cash by winning those rounds in a row, and so they still do have something to work with here. Once again, just playing real spread out. They seem to like to get mid control and kind of split A, but they have Valens with the bomb actually in Sunroom, so it seems like they want to do some type of mid to B hit here. They already do have 2 into mid. We're seeing that 2-1-2 setup now, so definitely Sponsors very dynamic on their CT side. We've seen some like 1A, 3 mid, 1B type stuff, and now we're seeing that 2-1-2 more passive setup. But Rix will get aggressive at A main for intel, but the Opera Shazam goes down the Roka at mid. That's a big kill to get, and they're going to catch. Oh, I thought they got Daps out of position there, but he's able to jump back into the site. But it's definitely still Nylam with the advantage coming into B.
Yeah, and they actually did have an option if they wanted to fall back and regroup, but actually completely committed to the B bomb site. It seems to be working out for them. Automatic and Valens and Sank's now catching a frag as well. Rush and Riggs, the only one to find return frag, so last man standing in Riggs. Going to try to hop down and make a play, but can't make it happen. Good work from Nylam, getting that early map control and taking mid, and that's what allowed Roka to get that frag onto Shazam, and then committing as a team, making sure they didn't get picked individually from that point moving forward. And just worked as a pack, not allowing Sponsorless to get any huge multi-kill frags.
I think that's like one of the big things about this Nylon team is that they have so many aggressive fraggers on their team between Automatic for sure. Roka has been known to be an entry fragger on some of his teams, so he can be a bit passive as well. And then you have Sangsington and Simpus who can do literally anything, like a utility player. And so there's no hesitancy, basically. They can just rush in, like you said, as a pack and be able to trade frags. And now they have Sponsorless on a save again, but we're seeing Sponsorless put up a fight here. They're really slowing Nylon down. They're even getting some picks here and there, but Nylon finally find their place in the round, and they are going to be able to shut it out here. So all of a sudden, we went from a situation where they were down 6-1 to now it's a 7-6 score. They've won the last 5 of 6 rounds for Nylon, so they've definitely turned this half around.
Yeah, with Sponsorless going to be buying up into this round, really limping into it as they're not exactly made of money. They have enough for armor and rifles, but not a ton of utility outside of the nades that Rush has on his back. They're going to be potentially putting themselves in a precarious position to lose the half if Nylon can step up and win this round, which is definitely not how I would have expected this going based, as you said, on the first few rounds. Balance starting things off right with 2 frags into the bomb site where Daps finally gets a return.
And they just hit so fast there, and like it was kind of like a retake ace setup for Sponsors. No one's really inside the site. Villain just catches 1 forklift and 1 highway, and then Ace completely open at that point. So just not quite in position. Is Sponsorless. They're trying the retake here. They have it 2 versus 3, but there goes Dats inside highway. So half now all alone, and they know he's on the flank because he already got a kill there into A main. He's gonna get caught by Roka pushing Squeaky Door. Had a flash out initially and took a lot of damage. Tries to pull his gun out, but to no avail. And it is now tied up at 7-all. So like we said, this game started out where we thought, oh man, Nylon are really kind of getting rolled here, but they've really recovered well, winning the last 6 of 7.
Going into this last round, I was talking about it before, Sponsorless committed a lot to that last round. I'm surprised they didn't just, maybe armor up and pistol, set themselves up for a last round buy-up, because that's what we're going to be seeing. I guess if you buy up last round and then armor pistol this round, it's not much different than armor pistoling the last round and then buying
Plus,
up for the
if you would have
one.
won that last round, you still have your guns left over, hopefully.
Right.
So
yeah, okay. When you put it that way, I see the logic.
Yeah, they didn't really have a choice there. And now Sponsorless on this round, though, still making this work. They've gotten a couple of kills here. We do finally have Roka taking out Das inside the vents, and they do have the man advantage here on Sponsorless, but Simphis will catch Nath in heaven with the op here, and they're going to continue to work themselves into B, but Shazam not smoked off, going to have the 5-7 and lower CT. He will find the headshot on the Roka, and now we have a 3 versus 2 here, and things are getting a little bit rough for Nylon. They are just 2 men in, but like I said, they do have the gun advantage here, and they do actually have the making its way into the site, but it can't do so safely. Finally, it's a smoke down lower CT, but still hasn't crossed yet.
Yeah, they are willing to work the clock down in order to find these picks, and Shazam getting flashed by everybody. His teammates, the other team, but still, there is a crack in that smoke for him to attempt to make a play, but smartly going to be waiting on Nylon.
And the big thing here is like Sanks realizes as soon as he tries to plant, they're going to be able to push him, and Simpus has to worry about the vents the whole time. So that's really the biggest problem here. But now here Rick's going for the exact same play. Simpus knows he's got to worry about the vents. He misses his shot. Rush comes in and grabs it. But now it's a 1 versus 1. Sanks got the kill in this side, but he's at low HP. Doesn't matter though, because Rush is actually he does pick up an AK. Never mind. Smart move there from Rush, and he will be able to find the frag. And so Sponsorless will be able to secure the last round. They do win the half 8-7, but it started out like it was going to be a much bigger lead in the half than that. But like we said, we did see Nylon really recover well there those last 7 to 8 rounds, finding 6 in there. And we still have a close game on our hands because of it.
Definitely, and just before we get too far away from that last round, really solid retake from Sponsors there on what was a force bought up armor pistol round. But I was saying that it was smart for Shazam to stay patient, wait for Sponsors to try to make something happen before trying to spring a trap on them. And after waiting for so long and staying patient for so long, he ultimately did decide to just kind of YOLO out it and try to make a play on his own. I'm a little disappointed to see that, especially just after he had waited for so long. Like, if you're going to try to make a play or that kind of play, I'm surprised to see him not do that earlier, and for him to break down and do that so late in the round when he very easily could have worked off of his teammates. I think, just it is just showing how the communication might not be there with these two teams, or maybe not even necessarily the communication so much as it's just the chemistry between them and feeling each other out and knowing when they should and when they can make plays off of each other.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the CT setup's going to be here for Nam. Like I said, I'm so used to Sanks on this map and teams I've seen him play for in the past, which I guess he's the one player that hasn't moved in kind of all this. He's been playing with this Nylon lineup for a while, and he's the highway player on CT side in most cases. Typically, you have Valence being a side anchor, usually on the B side of the map, but I know that he did kind of swap there because Hiko kind of wanted to anchor A, and then he kind of anchored B. But we've seen Valence also be an A side anchor when he's had another player that wants to play B. Because Hiko used to traditionally play B for the longest time on this team before they made kind of a position swap. So I'm curious if Valence will go back to B, or will he stay over on the A side of the map? Kind of curious to see how that's going to work out as well. Obviously, Simphus will float around with the op. I expect Unamatic will probably play A side. I'm just guessing here. What do you think CT positions are going to be like for this?
I feel like you really nailed it with I mean, as much as you can, as they're just pure predictions, with where I think the players will be just going on default, more default setups. But I'm curious if they'll play a similar CT setup to Spawn, so it's a very dynamic setup where they're constantly shifting players around, putting some aggression towards mid on rounds, setting it back down to a 2-1-2, throwing extra aggression towards A. I think that really helped them early on before Nylum got their footing into the game. So I would like to see if whether or not Nylum's going to be imposing a similar strategy, or if they're just going to go to, as you said, those more basic setups where they're all going to play their own position and try to just play the as clean vanilla CS as they can.
Well, I know Simmons as a guy likes to put aggression at mid as well. Like if he doesn't have an op, you might even see him play with the rifle up close on the smoke on many situations. So we could see that. Obviously, for Spongeless, you can expect Rickson Rush to be the main entry. Stats kind of lurking, Shazam opping, and obviously Nat, like I said, is kind of the wild card. Sometimes solo by himself, sometimes the main part of the attack. But on this pistol round, we're just going to see a really fast 2-2 split from Spongeless into the A bomb site, with Shazam actually kind of on here in mid garage, and Rush watching the A main flank with Shazam basically, while 3 kind of hold the site. And I feel like they have too many numbers watching this one flank from Roka. They don't have any support inside the site. This is going to lighten things up for Nam as they make their way in here. Rush is getting caught out by himself. Roka just keeping him from supporting his 2 teammates that are just sitting in A, getting a 4v2 retake put against them here. And I mean, Nylum are just cleaning up. I feel like they just committed way too much to watch the flank.
Yeah, or they just needed to commit earlier on with both those players at the same time, take down the flanking Roka, and then move back to the site as a unit instead of going with the just 2 individual, long, drawn-out 1v1s that they still ended up losing anyway. And I really like what Sponsos had going on early. They had Shazam jumping from their spawn, catching a lot of information, catching out 3 Nylum players over there pushing B, and that informed a good A take. Where this side was pretty much just empty. I think there was a CT watching from truck, just kind of spotting it. So yeah, they had the right idea. They executed properly in the first.
I just
half
feel
of that round.
Like Rush didn't really need to commit to watching the A flank. Shazam had his eye on it. You know, Shazam could just play more passive there, while Rush just helps them out at A. You're just committing too much resources and not supporting your team with the bomb enough. Either way, it didn't work out. Sponsus will try to just do a fast hit out of the squeaky door here, and Automatic just lining them up easy peasy. And then, speaking of easy, the Easy 90 comes out there for Valence to clean it up, and that's now Nylum taking the first 2 rounds. So no second round eco victory this time around. It'll be Nylum just, taking care of things and now taking the lead for the first time in this game, 9-8. I guess the second time this game, because they won pistol first half.
Right, but they're the first time taking a considerable lead in the stretch, and that was a super clean round for Nylum. Once again, I think Automatic got hit down to 52 HP, and that was the lowest anyone was on his team. I don't think anyone else even got hit, so those are exactly the kinds of rounds you want if you're Spongeless. But because of that round 1, Plant Naf gonna have to do some work here with the AK that's in his hand. He does eventually get traded out, but A bomb site is really under siege.
Yeah, absolutely. As Automatic has really firmly established himself here to be kind of the A anchor, while Sanks still kind of plays that highway position we're used to, and Roke is actually playing the B side of the map. So that's kind of getting an idea how Nylum wants to play the CT side here, as they're just once again cleaning up another round. Unless Dash can pull this 1 versus 2. He does get the kill on the Roka, so hold the phone. He might be able to get this. I thought this is kind of all she wrote, but Dash has been able to line up a couple of frags here, looking for the hat trick to clutch this thing, but Automatic able to wrap around and grab it instead, and there's plenty of time for Automatic to take the defuse afterwards. And so we are going to see 10-8 in favor of Nam, the perfect 3-0 to begin the half, and they're forcing Sponseless to save since that opening gun didn't work. So possibly a 4-0 start to really start building up this lead.
Yeah, and this is obviously exactly what Nylum needed to, A, bring themselves back into this game, take the lead, and now look to extend it. But actually, Sponsorless is going to be forcing up once again. They're going to be bringing out 3 Galilas with the 2 AKs. Armor pretty much across the board. Naf actually going for chest armor and no head armor. I'm not sure how that's going to play out for him, but not a lot of nades to work with either. Now just 4 flashes and a smoke. They're just going to have to work as a team, a pack right here. Catch Valens off guard as the lone man in the site before automatic rotates in, but I think rotate is just going to be, or the rotate's coming in right now. Trades 1 for 1 though. Make that 2 for 1 as the bomb site is just completely given up.
Yeah, Sponsors kind of realizing that Non's money was still low. They could punish them by winning around and resetting their money. So that's what they tried to go for here. With this force buy, they had enough money to make something work, and they have gotten the site, and they do have a 4 versus 3. So it has worked out pretty well so far. Now it's just about holding off the rest of this retake. Now Sanks has an incendiary, able to flush Ricks out of the quad box here, but no one able to peek him to grab the frag. As they do continue to try to pour in here, Shazam from the forklift will get caught by Roka. Now we have a 3-on-3. Nam continuing to press their way in, and they're continuing to find the frags as well. One by one, Sponsorless falls. Naf left alone, but he has been spotted by Simbus. He knows exactly where he is, and he'll find the headshot, and that was just a well-orchestrated retake, and just in time to the defuse. What a powerful round from Nylon.
Yeah, really just in time as they cut that one pretty close. Sponsorless did everything they needed to open up the round. They just haven't been able to hold off those retakes. Now I'm doing a good job of putting 2 crosshairs on 1 terrorist, and the terrorists themselves not able to squeak out the frags when they need to. We're actually missing another force up from Sponsorless, so really putting everything they have into this round as they have 3 players at $50 and the rest at 0. Even less utility nades than they had last round, but at least they're making it up in the frag ability of those AKs. I'm not sure if they're going to be ready for that boost up from automatic and the 3-man stack in A. This is not looking good for Sponsorless.
Yeah, they're just going to put that 1 smoke up on highway, and then they're just going to try to rush in here. Automatic able to find some damage. Can't find the frag, but now they know 2 are in the site, but will they expect a 3rd at quad? Probably not. That's going to be where the surprise factor kind of comes in here. That's why I don't know about Sympus yet. Sympus does step out there, grabs 1 frag gun, so still hiding in the fence corner, but somehow Sponsorless still trades out efficiently. But can they hold off the retake this time? Last time the same thing kind of happened, but Don's retake was still able to secure the victory. How will it play out this time? Smoke's up here, so Saints can't really spot his way into quad. And Naf will put an incendiary behind it as well to further deter any type of push through that area of the map. Shazam, though, at forklift, unchecked, will find Sanks, but Roka does find the kill on the quad. Comes around, finds that one too, and man, these retakes from Nylon, despite being a man down, 2 rounds in a row, they've made it work.
Yeah, wow. Good frags from Roka right there, cleaning up that 1-on-1 and doing it for his team, forcing the issue on Shazam, not playing that dance-around game, just knowing exactly where he was and putting him right into a gun battle. I mean, if you're Sponsorless, you can't ask for a much better site take, especially based on what their economy was looking like. They overcame the stack, and really they took advantage of automatic choking there, being in a really solid position to pick up frags or at least do a lot more damage than he did. And still, Roka bails them out of that situation. Now a 4-round difference separates these 2 teams. So they might be peeking towards that op of Semphis, who's, as we were talking about earlier, been pretty dynamic with it. Last round he was at quad box in A, and now we're seeing him at B. But now he's rotating out now, but just goes to show that dynamic CT setup can be really hard to stop.
Yeah, been shifting numbers around a lot. Like, I mean, Automatic's actually been playing kind of highway, while Sanks has been playing V sometimes. Now he's truck. Like, he's been all over the place. Simmons' op has also been moving around quite a lot from anchoring A to playing V. So, I mean, they're just, like you said, moving around a lot, being very dynamic, being very hard to read. And Sponsorless is now, in particular instance, is going to be down to a 2 versus 4. They will maybe get the bomb planted. Yeah, that nade doesn't quite hit Ricks enough to do much. So he does get the plant down, but yeah, man, Shazam is just stuck in the worst corner of the site. He can just be peeked from so many angles, not able to really get in position. And so another retake from Nylon comes in. They've been flawless this half, winning 7 for 7 and up 13-8. So this is just a much different half out of Nylon.
Definitely, and we're actually even seeing Sponsorless have guns on pretty much every round. They've been there competing with Nylon, with the firepower for the most part on these rounds, and their site takes have looked pretty good. It's just their post plant hasn't been there. Or maybe it's not even necessarily that their post plant hasn't. I think it's just that Nylon has been playing unbelievably coordinated on those retakes, just playing so well together, looking for trades that they often haven't even needed because their aggressive player has been catching the frags. Here we're going to see Daps trying to make a mid play, but going to be exposed
Oh, and Valen's got boosted up on the run boost, and they just didn't detect it, and he's going to get 2 frags for that. So that's another big play coming on this round, and Simba still at mid putting in work with the That's a second frag for him, and now it's going to be all up to Rush in a 1 versus 3. So that was just kind of 2 big surprises, like not anticipating Simvis being able to find a pick with that Ott. They thought they had him blocked off, and then, like I said, Valen's just literally perfect timing. If he was a second later on that boost, they would have walked out A main and caught him like mid boost and probably just get like some free kills and a free sight. Instead, he just makes it in time to blow that up. That's so insane how the timings worked right there.
Definitely, and Nylum has a solid crossfire. Well, except for Sempis, and it's not looking in the right direction. They had a solid crossfire here on A main. Now Rush last man standing going to be taken out by Valen, who is just properly positioned to clean up that last frags. That round, there's definitely been a few rounds that have been cut way too close for Nylum, but somehow they just managed to come out on top. And with that, that's what, 7 rounds straight for them going into this half, this round 23. Sponsorless not letting up off the gas, just buying up because at this point they have to. I think they had some, questionable buy-ups that I think I agreed with earlier on, but now there's no question. They just have to be buying. They have to start winning rounds. They have to stop the hemorrhaging that's been going on for just the entire half.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough game for Sponsorless. They had such a great start in the first half, going up 6-1, but then ever since then, they've only found 2 rounds. None of them have just made quite the comeback, like winning 6 of the last 8 last half, and they've been flawless this half. I wouldn't say flawless. Like, there's been some close rounds, but in the sense that they haven't dropped around yet. And Sponsorless will be able to get a bit of control going this time, just a slight bit, and they're going to get that wall off, so they're going to be able to continue to press, and it looks like they're going to try to do some type of B hit with this, maybe. But there's no one B lobby. They're trying to run through these smokes and grab kills, and Rick will, in fact, find Sanks over there by himself at mid. So once again, a different CT setup, and this mid control actually works really well with it. About to split themselves into the B. Bomb site automatic avoids a flash, gets caught. We do have a player boosted again. It is going to be Valence, but he will be sniffed out this time, only finding 1 frag before going down. And so, I mean, if Nylum gets this retake, like, I don't even know what to say. Hang it up, boys, on the Sponsorless. Like, you got to close this one out.
Absolutely. As Semphis finds the first frag of it, Roka will be pushing up on highway, trying to make something happen. Rush not exactly made of HP, so he could be an easy frag as Shazam gets naded down to 54. If Roka catches some players lining up right here, he could make it happen. As Semphis finds Rix as well, can't turn it into a second one. Now a 1-on-2, Roka last man standing. And with that, Sponsorless going to be picking up their first round of the game with a good-looking A split. And I really think, I can't think of another instance so far in this half where Sponsorless has gotten just a clean opening frag that wasn't on a site take. This was their first time being able to just take some map control and be able to dictate the pace of the round from that point moving forward, not on a flat-out site take, either A or B.
Yeah, I mean, Nylum did just play, real passive in that round. It's actually kind of funny that Nylum have won, 8 rounds in a row, or 7 rounds in a row, yet they're immediately forced to save on their first loss. This kind of shows you how close the rounds have been. This really good illustration of that. You see them trying to get aggressive here. Sponsorless picking up on it quite well. I think the big difference that round was just finally holding off a retake. Granted, they had a much bigger man advantage that time because, as you said, their entries were much cleaner. So they had a 4v2. That's much harder to lose than like a 3v2 or something like that, which they have lost a couple of times this half. So here we do. Finally see Sponsorless digging deep and showing some life. They've gotten a couple of rounds in a row now. It's 10-14. Still within reach of coming back now. It's not out of the question anymore, where you thought I was just kind of running away with it there for a while. Now we may still have a game on our hands. We did have a player drop, but he's come back, and Nylum's still a little bit tight on cash here. Kind of curious to see what kind of decision they're going to make as far as, do we take another save here, make sure we have our money in order, or do they try to force something up?
Yeah, I'm just generally a natural worrier and anxious person, so I'm not the kind of person who likes to force just for the sake of forcing. And with this cushion that Nylum has, I wouldn't be surprised if they're interested in saving not only to get rifles on all their players, but get that Ott back on Semphis. He's actually sitting on a lot more cash than I thought he would be. I guess there were so many rounds in a row where he didn't die at it. He was out of the server, so I couldn't see how much cash he has. Based on the buys that we've seen so far in this pause, just that, that pistol on automatic with the nades and smokes and the pistol and armor on Sanks, I don't think they're going to be buying up. fully on this round. I think that is the way to go. But, that could be my inherent, worrier in me saying, no, don't force it. You have too much to risk.
I mean, you still had the lead. You're not pressured quite yet. I mean, if sponsor just gets up to like 12 or 13 rounds, all of a sudden you really do need to kind of worry. But this is the perfect time to just make sure you get your money in order. Because, I mean, you've been pretty successful on the CT side this whole game. You've only let up one gun round so far.
It's not out of the question for them to put it together with their 5.7s right here. You set up a good trap, frag where you need to, and next thing you know, you've worked yourself to a man advantage. It's not exactly likely, but it's possible.
Definitely. And like I said, you also, like I said, have to have the confidence that you've only dropped one gun round this half. I mean, the other round you lost was when you were saving, and this round, if you lose it, it's also a save. So your gun rounds have been pretty on point throughout the game here on the CT side. So I think they're still probably feeling okay. I think the biggest thing is just they can't really give up mid for free. That's kind of where they ran into trouble, is when they did that. Hopefully they'll contest it a bit better next time they get guns on their hands. They do have a B stack this round with 3 players in that site, and sponsorless looks like they're running the B split here, so this could work out.
Yeah, which is crazy because for a while it looked like they were gearing up for A, but good job of pushing them in this direction. So blind is Rush. Still unable to get punished. 2 fire frags going out for sponsorless. This round is clearly breaking down in their favor. Rick's picking up the 4th one on the round, leaving Valens as the last man standing. Where's Valens at? He is in the vents. Could jump Shazam right here, but Shazam is not messing around. Already trained on the vents. Seems like they know.
Yeah, there's not much he's going to be able to do here. He will get taken out. And that was just really well done. Like, sponsorless being able to use the Molotovs to flush players out of the site. Not only that, but they had some good flashes in as well. So it's like the CTs couldn't even really escape either. They couldn't find their way out of the fire with all the flashes going on. And so they got 2 kills off of that. So that definitely helps you clear out a stack when you have that incendiary cover or Molotov cover. And now we are going to see Nolan back to buying. Still no op though, which leads me to believe they're going to be a bit more aggressive at mid. Yeah, but they want to do 1-3-1. They want Sippus up close with the rifle on mid, and it's exactly what you're going to get. And we saw this even before they made this roster change, that this team loved to do this. And this is what Mouse Sports likes to do as well. They have a passive truck player and 3 mid like this. So just kind of illustrating that. Different CT setup, just really making sure they don't give up mid this time.
And it seems like this is actually a smart readjustment based on how they did lose that initial gun run as you were talking about it. They lost it because they weren't playing mid aggressively enough. They gave up too much map control, and like clockwork, like they're listening to the cast, the first thing they do when they're back on guns is take control of mid and make sure they don't fall victim to the same thing that lost in the round before.
Yeah, and the only handicap you have here, though, is an open A bomb site, basically, except for highway and a passive truck, and those easily get smoked off.
Sick.
That is very true. The retake has been pretty much on point. Like I said, the Mouse Sports loves to do this themselves, and it's something you've seen some teams pick up on from that success they've seen with Mouse Sports doing it. And they are going to be able to get the fire out to clear out the sites. And Sanks is on a pretty fast flank, and that'll help things out since A was kind of open. And look at this. Automatic finding gas here to find. Frags finds another dash, pushes into him, and goes down. And so, as you said, these retakes have been very effective for Nam tonight, but Sponsorless comes back with some frags of their own, and now they have Nap in a 1 versus 2, manageable, but he gets caught out in the crossfire, and that's Nylum putting themselves to map point.
Yeah, really well done by Nylum, readjusting to what they were punished by in their first gun round that they lost, was that round 23, and putting it together with their strong suit in the retake. Real clean, catching the opening frags as the bomb was going down, both with the flank and one of the CTs pushing up on a crack by the forklift. It just didn't quite cover the entire thing. He was able to just squeeze in, catch a frag, and fall back. And just those individual frags causing chaos did not allow Sponsorless to get a grip on that retake.
Right, this could be the last round of the game here, but we still do have Sponsorless with the full buy-up, and Shazam does have his op, so we'll see if they can make things work a little bit better here. Once again, they're giving up mid, but they do have a player inside the vents, and so that's going to help out. Valens gets a little bit aggressive here. He's going to find 1 pick on A main, but now the squeaky door player will catch the fallback, so we'll be down here to a 4 versus 4. Still not sure what Sponsorless wants to do here. Daps has the bomb in mid-garage. Rush playing to B lobby. Shazam boosted with this op, looking for something, but simply not peeking out, not feeding him the pick. And what they do will take mid control, but Simpus will fall back off of it.
Yeah, Naf trying desperately to find a frag in A, but it's going to be automatic, stepping out and catching that frag as Roka finds one elsewhere. Now a 2-on-4, not looking great for Sponsorless on this last round, or potential last round. Once again, this is Nylum's map pick, so you'd expect them to have a strong showing on it. And it still is a close game.
Yeah, definitely. This dynamic CT setup catching sponsorless once again, and they will finish out the game there. So very little struggle in the second half. I mean, non-CT side was really on point. Like I said, very dynamic. You'd see, like, the only two things that seemed set in stone was Valen's anchoring A and Roka playing like checkers or playing inside the B bomb site. Everyone else was just moving around all the time. Sometimes Stanks is supporting Roka at B. Sometimes he's playing highway, supporting, A side. Like they would play really aggressive 1-3-1 setups mid. Sometimes they would just give up mid completely 2-1-2. Just really changing it up and keeping sponsorless guessing. And they also just, even when they were losing sides, their retakes were just so on point. And you could just see how that all came together to allow for the map victory.
Yeah, taking a look at the stats really quickly. They're actually still around behind. They'll catch up in a second. Automatic and Semphis, very clearly the most effective fraggers for maximum effort, dropping 100.7 and 110.9 ADR respectively. Also top fragging for their team. And I think something you can't take away from them on Roka as well, but the assists coming out from Automatic and Semphis, not only cleaning up their frags and picking up the frags when they need to, but doing damage to boot with it. Roka himself with 9 assists cannot be ignored. The other side of the board, Shazam, the most effective player, according to our algorithm, dropping a 25 and 19 scoreline with a 90 ADR to go with it. So really solid fragging. Didn't quite have another teammate with him that could keep up in the damage department and just get those frags. That's typically where I think a player like Naf would show up and really shine, but didn't quite have the game he needed to for the team with a 15 and 22 scoreline. 72 ADR, not quite gonna cut it for his team. He just really, and 16% accuracy. I feel like that's surprisingly low for Naf, who's usually just a headshot hunter.
Yeah, Rick's also kind of had an off game. This is a guy that you also expect to be able to put up pretty solid numbers. He had in the past on this roster when they were Tempo Storm with their former lineup, and he also was really struggling to establish himself on both sides of the map, really. And yeah, as you said, you look over at the other side, Semphis was just good on both sides of the map, with that op. Some of the main rounds they won on T side were him kind of opening up things with the AWP. So he definitely, proved himself there to do quite well. And Automatic was just phenomenal on the CT side, especially on that A bomb site. So really well done from Nylum. Really good recovery. As we said, they started down 6-1 at one point, and they really got their act together to find some T rounds and get themselves back in the game. And they just had a very dominant CT side. And they, like I said, they showed they could hold, but they also showed they could make really good calculated retakes. But part of it was also you could see that Sponsors wasn't necessarily on the same page on some of these post plans. Like some of the peaks that were taking place weren't well synced up. Like we saw, like on the pistol round, for example, they seemed to put so much emphasis on the flank rather than really supporting their teammates inside the sight hole in the bomb. So there was a couple little mishaps here or there, but overall, it was just a good performance from the X9 lineup to recover well after a tough start.
Definitely, and for more things that are going in their favor, that was Nylum's map pick, so they gave Sponsorless CT side first. Now, going into Sponsorless's map pick, they're going to be giving Nylum the CT side first on Inferno, and they just demonstrated a really strong CT setup with really good retakes, which I think is going to be it could be a deciding factor, but it's also going to be just very important on every round going into a map that's so defensively heavy like Inferno. Right. But you can't imagine that Sponsorless is going to be picking a map that they don't feel confident on fragging on. They know they were going to be starting Terrorist side first. There's no way they'd be surprised by that. So you got to imagine they would be properly prepared.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely sit back and see. So to stay tuned, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we will bring you Matsu between Sponsorless and Nylum to see if we're going to see the Nylum victory or will we see a tie if Sponsorless can figure this out. Stay tuned.